Ukrainian troops carried out counter-operations on at least 4 front areas over the weekend as President Volodymyr Zelensky confirmed that the long-awaited push was now taking place. Ukrainian forces over the weekend have targeted several Russian positions in Donbass, including an alleged advance of almost 1.5 kilometers near the besieged town of Bakhmut and further west in the Zaporizhia Oblast. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said his military had started counteroffensive and defensive operations. Without giving any details on the military operation, he said Ukrainian commanders are all in a positive mood. Russia's president the day before said he firmly believed a counteroffensive had begun. It can be stated with absolute certainty that this attack has started, he said. However, he claimed that the first wave of this counterattack achieved nothing but the loss of the Ukrainian soldiers. Video footage shows an artillery unit from the 44th Separate Artillery Brigade of the Armed Forces of Ukraine destroying a column of Russian invaders consisting of 5 units of equipment, 3 to 4 tanks, and 1 to 2 BBM. This was reported by the Telegram channel Warzone, publishing a related video recorded by the unmanned aerial vehicle, but without specifying where exactly it happened. Geolocation is carried out by the Telegram channel War in Ukraine. The convoy sped along a field road near forest paths and groves. It was subjected to classic artillery shelling with ordinary shells. Initially, after the explosion, a BBM stopped nearby, from which the assault troops jumped out. And then there were 2 direct hits on the tanks. One of them must have been destroyed, because the tower was torn off. In another video, artillery of the Ukrainian Armed Forces destroys a 240mm self-propelled 2S4 Tulip mortar and a truck with ammunition belonging to the Russian occupiers. The Strategic Communications Department of the Armed Forces of Ukraine announced this on its Telegram channel, publishing a related edited video of 3 different episodes. First, a classic Tulip artillery barrage is shown at firing positions in some grove. After a few explosions, there was a direct hit nearby. Then a direct hit on the ammunition truck was shown immediately. At the moment of the violent explosion, projectiles flew from it in different directions. And just before the break, an interventionist jumps into the car. He doesn't have much chance of survival. In the 3rd episode, the invaders also have something burning in the forest, but it's unclear what exactly. All episodes were filmed by an unmanned aerial vehicle, whose operator finds fat targets and adjusts artillery fire on them. Ukraine has achieved a major breakthrough just 48 hours after its long-awaited counteroffensive, according to the UK Ministry of Defence. The Ministry of Defense confirmed that Ukraine had penetrated Russia's first line of defense in several places. This comes as Volodymyr Zelensky confirmed for the first time today that a counteroffensive was underway. Defense Ministry intelligence briefings revealed that Ukrainian troops had most likely made good progress and forced the Russians to retreat in disorganized ways. However, progress on his offensive in other areas was slower. Summing up Russia's reaction to the offensive, the Ministry of Defense stated, "Some units likely conducted credible maneuver defense operations, while others withdrew in disarray." Near the newly liberated village of Storozheve, Donetsk region, south of Velika Novosilka, fighters from the 88th Separate Marine Battalion of the 35th OBrMP of the Ukrainian Armed Forces destroyed a column of Russian invaders attempting to retake the settlement. This was reported by domestic military analyst Deep State. The guys shared videos of repelling the enemy's counterattack on Storozheve. Catsaps in 4 cars broke into the village, where they were completely destroyed. In fact, the video recorded by the unmanned aerial vehicle shows impressions of the invaders' infantry fighting vehicles, as well as damaged enemy tanks. On the other hand, soldiers of the Ukrainian Armed Forces have destroyed or at least disabled nearly 24 Russian invader tanks over the last few days. Meanwhile, the People's Representative and frontline volunteer Yuri Misyagin published a separate related video of 2 tanks being fired upon by an unmanned aerial vehicle. However, in at least the first case, the drone operator was not directly involved in the clash of tanks. The tank exploded on an anti-tank mine, or a high-explosive mine, after which it stopped, and the crew fled. It is unclear how the second tank was hit. In the video, we see that he is driving while setting fires. However, it then stopped and the tanker fled. In total, 17 Russian tanks were destroyed yesterday, according to the General Staff of the Armed Forces. The General Staff of the Ukrainian Armed Forces reported on June 12 that Russia had lost 216,180 soldiers in Ukraine since the start of the full-scale invasion on February 24 last year. This number includes the 540 casualties suffered by Russian forces over the past few days. The Ukrainian Armed Forces have liberated the village of Storozheve 3 kilometers south of Velika Novosilka in Donetsk Oblast. The press center of the Tavriisk Defense Force reported on June 12. The day before, the Institute for the Study of War, ISW, wrote about the settlement liberation, citing Ukrainian and Russian sources. Storozheve was recaptured by Ukraine's 35th Separate Marine Infantry Brigade, according to the press center. On June 11, the Ukrainian military reported the liberation of the Blahodat, Neskuk, and Makariva settlements in the eastern Donetsk Oblast. Meanwhile, Ukrainian troops have also advanced 300 to 1,500 meters in the south of the country, according to Deputy Defense Minister Hanna Maliar. The reports of Ukraine's gains come shortly after President Volodymyr Zelensky said a highly anticipated counteroffensive against Russian troops was already underway. According to ISW, Russia downplayed Ukraine's recent advances in the Donetsk and Zaporizhia oblasts, referring to them as a gray zone. It was noted that there had been a large increase in Russian casualties after some of the retreating troops were blown up by their own minefields. The main focus of the Ukrainian military offensive is in the Zaporizhia region in the south of the country.